Hey, Judah Ross with Bastrop Real Estate Group. Are you thinking about subdividing your land in Bastrop County? Well, then this video is for you. I can't take credit for it, for all of the knowledge here. That's going to go to the amazing local surveyors, Stubing. I thought it was Stubing. It's Stubing. That's Robert and his wife Brenda, who are awesome people, super involved in the community, and are fantastic surveyors as well. Um, Brenda, I believe it's Brenda, not Brenda. Apologize if I'm mispronouncing, but um, gave this awesome presentation yesterday at Frontier Bank um, in Bastrop at their new location downtown, and I learned a ton. A lot of it was good reinforcement from things that I've seen before, have experienced before. I've done a number of deals like this, and it can get fairly complicated. So um, I'll be adding in some of my own personal experience, but a lot of this is coming from the notes from the awesome presentation by Stubing Surveyors. So I'll start off by saying the biggest issue you're going to run into, and I'm working on a number of deals right now that are stuck at this stage, is going to be aqua water. They unfortunately have developed a pretty poor reputation. They've made it very expensive, and they've made the process very lengthy, to the tune of 6 months or more, to get a separate water meters, to extend the lines, to just get approval from them. So they seem to be the real bottleneck with any of these, anytime you're looking to subdivide. So there are a few things to keep in mind. Bastrop, always start out, Bastrop is a city, and Bastrop is the county. City's very small. It's about 10 square miles. County's very big. It's about a little less than 1,000 square miles. The city does have ETJ. It's got I believe, 1 mile ETJ, but Bastrop's pretty unique. It has a ETJ-A, ETJ-B, and this does come into um, relevance when it comes to platting or subdividing. Subdividing is if you're just splitting property in two. Platting is if you're splitting it into more than two. So if you're in the city or the city's ETJ, you're going to have to get approval through the city, planning and zoning department, planning and zoning board. If you are in the county, which is still going to be most of the area, you have to go through the county. And the county, you have large tracts of land. This is usually where these types of questions and issues are going to come into play. So with the county, they do have control over platting. They don't have control over a lot of things, but platting is one of the things. And they're going to look at, the county has, they're going to be looking at your septic. So they have a septic engineer. So are you're platting this, and you're going to have, maybe 10 different houses or 10 different lots. How are you going to take care of wastewater? The other issue that the county's going to look at is your driveway. So you're connecting to a county road. If you're connecting to a state highway, like State Highway or FM, then you're going to have to get state approval from TxDOT over there as well. As Bastrop has grown, things have, the counties had to take more control to some extent in order to manage growth and make it safe. So one of the things you used to be able to do, and I've sold lots like this, is a flag lot, where you can, we'll look over here. Flag lot is going to look like this. So you have a very small driveway entrance from the street, and then it kind of goes to the back like that. So the county is requiring, they're not allowing this anymore. There are some ways around it where you essentially kind of draw a triangle in the front, so it's got more frontage over here, and then you have that small driveway leading to the back. But again, working with a knowledgeable agent, I'm here to help, and working with a great surveyor like Stubing is going to be the way to do it. So minimum road frontage in the county that you have to have per lot is going to be between 120 and 150 feet. So that's one of the things that the county's going to look at. The two other big things are: do you have electric? Do you have electricity? That's going to be through Bluebonnet. And my experience and what I've heard from Brenda and what I hear from other landowners is Bluebonnet is pretty darn good. They are pretty quick, pretty helpful. They're responsive, and it's not too expensive to get a meter or to extend the line. Again, when it comes to Aqua, that process can be quite aggravating and very long. So they require a feasibility study. It's going to cost you $1,200. The whole process can take up to 6 months. They have an outside engineer, which always complicates things when they're not actually managing things in-house. It has to go before board approval, and then you have to get an executed agreement. Now, one of the ways to avoid Aqua is, how else can you get water? Well, you can get a well. Wells are not cheap. Well, you can get a well. Wells are not cheap, but working with Aqua is not cheap either. So I've heard prices now of anywhere $20,000-$30,000, possibly even more for a well. I've got some really good ones that I can recommend. Feel free to reach out to me. But you need to have at least 2 acres to dig a well, and you need to get, I believe, approval from the Lost Pines Water District. So if you can get a letter that they send to the county saying that a well is feasible, then you don't actually have to have the well dug. You just have to have certification that it could be. So that's one of the ways around it. One of the ways around the whole subdividing process and having to get a plat is if you are giving property to to a family member. So if you have 10 acres and you want to subdivide off 2 acres to give to your son or daughter, then you don't need to go through the platting process. You can avoid all this. However, when they come to sell the property, you will have to deal with all of this, because it's not really grandfathered in for the sale. It's only when you are giving it to the family. Let's see some of the other things to be aware of. If you're in a floodplain, there's lots of land you may come across that's in a floodplain. You need to have a ½ acre of buildable land outside of the floodplain. If you are building in a floodplain, you need to have an elevation certificate. You're going to go through the county as well. They manage floodplain, and I believe they just got a floodplain manager here. So the county's improving the process quite a bit. They are in the process of rewriting subdivision and plat regulations. For the county, you can go online over here and you can reach out to them. I found, I think I've spoken to Patricia, and Brielle is the other employee here. They're super helpful. I say this for the city and for the county as well. Processes aren't perfect, but I found customer service to be very responsive and very helpful. So they've got a checklist over here, subdividing your property. There's some good information online. Right, is it legal? How is it accessed? Who's responsible for road maintenance? Does it have water service? Does it have sewer service? Does it have electric service? It's not in a floodplain. No other person than the subdivider owns the property or has claims. So if there's a lien holder, for example, if they have a loan and the bank has a lien on the property, well, you will have to you'll have to get a letter from the lien holder. They will have to send it to the county saying that they approve this, right? If a bank has a loan on 10 acres, they have a lien on 10 acres. Well, if they're now selling off 2 of the acres, that collateral is going to be smaller. So they need to approve that, which makes sense. If you're going through the city, they approve plats once a month. You need to submit it on a Monday. There's 30 days for comments, for in public comments. Septic system. This is a really interesting one if you're building in Tahitian Village, and this was a question I always had, and Brenda provided a really good answer. So per TCEQ, Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, you have to have a ½ acre for a septic. So how is it that Tahitian Village, which is all 1/4 acre lots, is able to get away with a septic? And that's because it's a platted subdivision already. It was, I guess, grandfathered in, but platted subdivision. So when it was subdivided into 1/4 acre lots, they were all done at a 1/4 acre. So even if you're buying it now, you can put a septic on a 1/4 acre. Now, if you start combining lots, things are going to change. So it's because it was already platted out in like the 70s, early 80s. Some of the other entities that you're going to deal with, particularly in the county, are the ESDs, Emergency Services Districts. These are the fire departments for the county. ESD 1, which covers, let's see here. ESD 1, which covers the southern and western portion of the county. ESD 1 is green right over here. They recently adopted the International Fire Code, which I believe is from 2018. And so I'm working with a landowner that's looking to create a pretty large subdivision. And one of the things he's running into is, I think once you get over a certain amount, maybe 25 different units or lots, you're going to have an egress and entrance and egress, an exit. So you'll have to have 2 different roads, 2 different ways to get in and out, which is really important. Anyone living in Tahitian can testify to that. When they did have the fires, you want multiple exits. But the other thing you're going to run into is the water supply. So Aqua, if you say that you need fire flow, like enough to supply a hydrant, Aqua standard is 250 gallons per minute for 60 minutes, but the fire code requires 1,000 gallons per minute for 60 minutes. So again, another issue you're going to have to deal with Aqua. If it's a driveway that's servicing more than 2 residents off of a state highway, you need to have a commercial driveway that's done by an engineer. Apparently, they started cracking down on this. City of Elgin, they also work with an outside engineer. Again, this is the city of Bastrop here. Elgin, Smithville's right around here. Elgin's over here. So most of the time you're going to be dealing with the county. But, Bastrop's, I think, the largest of these. And it does have the ETJs. Let's look at the Bastrop ETJ. Bastrop in particular, and it is a city to have some more complexities, but their customer service is quite fantastic. So this is the city, this is the statutory ETJ, and then here's ETJ A, and then area B. So I believe for both of these you need to have, so it covers a good amount of what falls under ESD2 and then ESD1. You'll have to get plat approval from the county. There is a new law that was passed recently that does allow property owners to, particularly in the ETJ, to de-annex even from the city. So that is something that some property owners have been doing. But there's also benefits to being in the city. Let's see if we have any other notes I'd want to mention. If you're doing more than 4 lots, you have to have an infrastructure and drainage plan, and you'll need an engineer to help you with that. So this is why a lot of people love buying in Tahitian Village. It's already subdivided. At the same time, I wouldn't let this scare you away. I've done deals where this has been part of it, and the projects can be quite successful. But I would say the key is really working with a great surveyor like Stubing, and it's worth the money. Working with someone local here and working with someone who does plats and subdivisions is really going to be the key. Again, having your realtor is kind of your primary contact who's going to help you with all of this. So if you are looking to subdivide your land and sell it, if you're looking to purchase land and you've got questions about this, I'm here to help. Judah Ross with Bastrop Real Estate Group. 512-998-1957. I've got all my information in the description below. Please like and subscribe. If you find this video helpful, please comment if you have any other questions, any other topics you'd like me to cover, or any questions about subdividing. If I don't have the answer, I will definitely look into it for you. But thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.